Hello everyone. In this video, I want us to organize our to-do application. So first of all, I'll create a view folder. So this folder I will be having 5 files: user.py, task.py, to-do.py, and then author.py. So these files, so let me just create them first. Author.py, user.py, and then to-do.py, and then we have tag.py, and then we also have the last one, which is init .py. So by doing this, so author.py, the purpose of this author.py, it will handle route and logic related to authentication. For example, login, logout, and all that. Tag.py will handle also the routes related to and logic related to tags. Same will apply to do and also user.py. So in each of this file, I'll be using what we call blueprint. What is the purpose of blueprint? So the purpose of blueprint is used to organize and modularize your application into reusable components. So for example, in each of these, I'll be using the blueprint instance. So in my user.py, I'll start by from Flask importing blueprint. So I'll start by importing the blueprint from Flask import blueprint, and then after importing it, you go ahead and initialize it. So I'll come and say user blueprint is equals to, then I'll say is equals to blueprint that way, and then the first parameter, the first argument is the blueprint name. I'll call it user blueprint again, and then we have the second one, which will be the name, right? So which is an import name, so underscore name underscore. So after doing this, you will have created a blueprint, right? So now after doing this, we can go ahead and create a simple route. So I'll just use let me even remove this one. I no longer need to use it. I come here, paste it, and then we'll now be using user blueprint. I'll say user blueprint. So that's how it divides our application into reusable components. So I'll be using now the user blueprint decorator. So I come here and I can say users. I'll just call it /users, and then users, and then return. Let me just return a simple JSON. So I'll say JSONify, which needs to be imported here. JSONify, and then I'll say return JSONify a simple object. I'll call it users, and then I can just even create inside here. I can say users list for now, and then I pass 200, which is a success message, which means it is successful. So after doing this, you do the same to the rest. So inside to do again, I'll go to do, paste it, rename user blueprint to be to do underscore blueprint. Sorry for that, underscore blueprint, and then here will be underscore to do's, and then here will be to do's, and then I'll call here to do's again, and then I'll say to do's list, right? So you do the same for the next one, which is tag. Press it, then I'll say tag blueprint, and then you can see here is tag blueprint again, and then here I'll call it tags. Route should be I'll call it tags, which is get, here I'll call it tags, and then return JSONify. I'll call it tags again, and then I'll say tags list. All right. Again, I'll go to author.py. I'll do the same. So I'll call it auth blueprint, and then here this one I can call it what? I can just call it maybe login for now. All right, or I can just call it auth for now, and then here I can just call it auth, and then I can say auth, and then I'll say used. So I can just say for authentication purposes, for authentication purposes. And then after doing all this in each of the file, you can see tag blueprint. I mean to do blueprint, user blueprint. After defining it, all this, you now go to init.py. So we did say the init.py is used to initialize the package and make imports more organized. So at this moment, so I'll import everything from each of these. So I'll say .auth. I'll say import all. So any function that is inside the auth will be imported. So I'll say auth, and then I'll replicate 4 times, and then I'll say from user, and then from tag, and then I'll say from to do. Alright, so after doing all this, now you go to your app.py and import everything from view. So go to app.py and then you import. So I'll say from views, from view. Oh, I didn't name it view, it should be views. In plural. So I'll say from views, import everything. So it will import each of the blueprint that we have inside, and then now we initialize the blueprint. Right, so I'll just come again here from Flask import. Do you really need to import the blueprint? I don't think we need to import anything to do the blueprint here. So just now come here and register the blueprint. All right, so you'll just come and say app dot register register blueprint, and then you now pass the blueprint name, each and every. So for this one, I'll just start with user blueprint, and then this one will be to do blueprint, and then this one will be auth, and then we end with tag blueprint. So this one will register all of this, and anytime you can look for each of these, you can look for each of these routes, it will be able to work. For example, I'll just run my my app, Flask run -- debug. So it's now running. Open it, and then I'll just come and say sorry for that. I'll say slash user or users, should be slash users. Sorry for that. Let me just reload. It's not actually working as I wanted. Let me just open it again, and then I'll say slash users. You can see slash to dos. You can see slash auth. You can see, and also slash tags. So you can see. So so our application now is divided very well in more reusable components, and we are now ready to work on authentication. So that's all for this video. See you in the next one.